Hey everyone, welcome to the Infinite Respawn podcast. I'm Chicken.
I'm Oak Tree.
I'm Grif.
Baka.
So
What
cool.
What's up?
How's it going, everybody?
Pretty good, pretty good. I got a new mouse.
Yay.
I got my Corsair mouse that it lights up. That's cool. But no, the reason I got a new mouse is because I was trying to get rid of all the wireless shit that I have because of the slight delay and stuff that's on there. So.
Mine lights up too.
Mine does too.
I just leave it off because I forget about it and it stays on all the time.
It's cool because I've got like a little DPI button or whatever, so I can kind of, based on the game, I can change.
Yep, mine's got that.
Headphones on there, which I think is pretty neat. I didn't have that before, so I'm very excited about it. I have moved on to the modern age.
Yes.
Yeah.
Modern times.
Yay!
Going wired and modern peripherals.
Well, technically,
wired everything.
Going wired technically is going backwards, but I understand why it's necessity. You understand what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, now if they could just make it completely latency free, like,
I don't know if wireless will
only.
ever be pure latency free.
I think it'll be
some sort of communication time.
I think you could get close, but it's going to take a while. I think it's going to take a while. Yeah. And I think there's people that are working on it. So, for sure. If they're not, they should be. And you should let me try those out. Actually, you should let Chicken try those out, because if he approves of them, then we know they're okay.
Yes.
That we know they're for real.
Yes.
So, talk to Chicken for sponsorships. Got it.
Yeah.
Good to go.
No. Yeah.
What
Yeah.
games have everybody been playing this week?
I've played a few. I played Ukulele this week. Is one of the games I played. Ukulele is made by Platonic Games, and Platonics is they're some of the old Rare the developers, and they have moved over and created their own thing. And it is music-wise, feel-wise, everything. It's Banjo-Kazooie.
Because that's what it was supposed to feel like.
Yeah, I know. It's called ukulele. What is it?
Ukulele,
was supposed to be
right?
a
Yeah,
spiritual
ukulele,
successor.
Banjo-Kazooie. I mean, yeah.
So they're supposed to do it, which it just hit Switch recently, but the rest of the time, I think it's been out for a little over a year on all the rest of the platforms. But we started playing it. It's my favorite thing is if a kid's playing this, they're not going to get some of the jokes that are being said, but any adult that's playing it going, wow, that's a lot of innuendo. One of the characters that you have to talk to on a regular basis, his name is Trouser. He's a snake. So,
My god.
So, like, all these different puns and stuff that they've got in the game are just, I mean, they're just fantastic, and they got really cute characters. I recommend the game. So far, we're enjoying it. Storyline, plotline, all that stuff is exactly what you would expect from an older Rare title. So it just makes a lot of sense for that. So I played that. Also, I played Sea of Thieves. We went through. They've just added in Sea of Thieves Reaper quest. You go to Duke, and you pick up the Reaper quest. So make sure you at least log in and grab some of those. If you haven't, they're like 5 doubloons to pick one up. The Reaper ones are designed to where you start off on Marauders, and you end up moving to another island, and then you move back to Marauders, and then you move to another island, and then you move back to Marauders. So you start off with like 3 chests on Marauders, and then you go do a riddle, and you come back and there's 6 chests on Marauders, and then you go do a riddle, and you come back, there's 9 on there. But you have to fly with the Reaper flag the entire time, so everybody on the map can see you. Luckily, we had 2 nice servers that we were on because we ended up moving to a server. And we're able to finish it twice. But it took the first one took about 3 hours to do. Just because you're moving back and forth, and we decided to turn in on the first one. The second one, we didn't turn any of them in until the end. So that took less time because we had to stop somewhere else to make that happen. So it was overall, it was like a pretty fun experience. There's 2 other missions you can do that you don't have to fly the Reaper flag. We've got to fly those 2, but you get the balloons. If you finish all of the missions and get all the commendations for it, it unlocks 90 doubloons. Well, the new ship stuff is for a Reaper, and it's like a grayish, like a silver color, silver and black. with a scythe on the side of it, and then you have the black flags with a ghost on it with a scythe in the hand for Reaper. So that's what you can end up buying and unlocking. And so that's what we're shooting for. We all kind of want that. So I think that will end up being pretty cool. And then the last thing that I played as well is Metro 2033. I started playing it again.
Not on Epic.
Not on Epic. Went and bought. I got 2033 because I wanted to start from the beginning and work my way back through the series before I played Exodus, because I went ahead and purchased Exodus. So I'm interested in it. So I'm streaming it right now, just because there's a lot of people that don't know anything about the series. They don't understand why those of us that play the game love the game as much as we do. And it holds up so well. Like, I think the game is nearly 10 years old by now. The first one was, which the book for Exodus, because I forget that they show you posters and the other books and stuff for setting in there. The books for Exodus came out in December of 2013. So, you figure you're 6 years removed from when that book came out. So pretty cool. But that's what I did. I enjoyed it. It was fun. I have not played any Anthem this week.
We played Anthem. Chicken and I actually finished up the whole main storyline. We won't talk spoilers or anything. I will just say I was slightly disappointed by how some of it went down. I mean, I get it. You're leaving some content so that you can have it for your expansions, because it's a live service game that needs to last forever, and we have to have things to do out there, you guys. But some of it did feel...
Forever, as in, within 2 years, we'll get another.
Probably, if they use the Destiny model. But some of it did feel a little open, because we're going to come back to it, and whatevs. The mechanics still feel really good. That was a lot of fun. Also, I really ended up enjoying some of the people from the fort that I didn't think I would like in the long run. There was one guy...
Did y'all cap? Did y'all get a pretty, like, your characters and all that type of stuff? You completely capped
at level 30.
No, we're not.
Oh, are we not? I thought we hit 30.
We're like 29 and a quarter. We have basically what happens is you've got to complete the critical missions, and you play through the last story mission, which has a pretty interesting boss fight that is very, very, very difficult.
That's good.
I think it'd be easier with more... Well, I don't know. It might be harder with more
people. I don't
people.
know. I didn't feel like I know that we ran into some, like, sticky situations during
I had to pick you up 4 times.
Well, okay, yeah, but once was because I didn't realize the water was not water, but acid, so...
Was it green?
3 other times, then.
There's other green water that we've been in plenty of times. Just the color is not enough to tell you in this game.
Really? First thing in my mind, as soon as I saw the platforms leveled up, I was like, don't touch the floor.
Yeah, well, I walked off the platform. Okay,
0 IQ, Grif.
Green water is usually bad in every game ever.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, half the caves you're in are green water. Standing green water that you stand in.
I don't stand in standing green water. It might be okay, but I definitely don't. It's a rule of thumb in the video game world. Don't stand in green water.
That's fine. But I felt like it was going to take the last boss fight was going to take a little longer than it did. It just had multiple, like, travel spaces in between.
They're just moving from point A to point B.
It wasn't bad. I'm not saying it was a bad last boss fight.
Was it in the open world, or was it where you had to...
No, it was in a story mission.
It was in a story mission.
Yeah. It was
which basically unlocks as a stronghold. You unlock 2 major strongholds at the end of the game, which is good. They're going to add more strongholds, which is definitely needed. But yeah, it felt like... For the whole climactic end part, it just kind of being like, yay, like one of those little party streamers. Instead, you're expecting fireworks, and all you get is this pop, poof.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, okay, that's fun. Yeah.
Now what am I gonna do? All right, wait for the next expansion.
After the story mission's done, you go back to the fort, talk to a whole bunch of people, and it does open up like your stronghold missions and all of that, and like your what is it that the bard wants from you? Like Legionnaire missions?
Yeah, the Legion. The Dawn of Legion stuff, Legionnaire stuff. I like how the fort has basically transformed from a shithole to a really pretty place. I like it now. The scaffolding's gone. Holy shit, did that shit infuriate me so much. Like, just the big ass scaffolding is just sitting on the side of the building. It's like, go away.
I'm surprised Perndle didn't have something to say about that being a safety hazard. I do
I
wish
know,
the
right?
whole time though there's that one guy that you talk to that's like all of these things are safety hazards, and usually like my freelancer brushed him off about it a whole lot because it's stupid stuff. Like he wanted to implement an ordinance that made having like cords sitting around illegal because it was a tripping hazard and things like that. And I kind of wished that occasionally your
I was thinking
player
my
would,
house would be illegal.
well, I would just kind of wish that occasionally after those conversations, your player would like stumble over some of the coiled wires that are in front of that one door or slip on the water next to the fountain so that you could be like, oh, I mean, maybe he's onto something. It just sounds dumb. They didn't do that though. Would have been
That
a
would
nice
be
touch.
that would be a funny thing to add into there for sure.
Yeah, the characters in the second half of the game are so much better than the first half of the game.
Yeah.
Like it's seriously, it's like, wow, these characters are actually pretty good. Oh wow,
These
where the hell have
characters
you
are
guys
people.
been? Yeah, where the hell have you guys been this whole time?
Yeah.
So it gets a lot better. It really does not feel front loaded. It's like the opposite of most games these days. It's you get a bunch of stuff and then it just falls off and there's nothing left. This one it's like, struggle through the swamp and then you enter into this pretty field. It's like, oh wow, there's actually good characters in this game, hidden behind
Some
these
of the
giant double
development is a
doors.
bit short on them, or you'll have like these really meaningful
Yes.
things, and then all of a sudden that person will just disappear from the fort because your time with them is over. I'm like, okay,
For
Yeah,
now.
it would be nice to be able to like see them walking around.
yes,
I think that would kind of add a little bit more, connection to the people where you actually random people you talk to are still walking. I understand that some of them leave due to their story, like they move.
yeah. I mean, I get
because
that,
they're
but
moving
some
on.
of them just up
Yeah,
and
some of them need
disappear.
to actually still be there.
Yes.
But yeah, it was good. Once you finish the story, it opens up for the clean up the rest of the side quests and whatnot for you to deal with the things that have been bothering you or you haven't finished up yet, so you can do those afterwards. To add more story, kind of finish up some loose ends, and then they're gonna add more stuff.
Yeah,
this
they
month-
better, because
this
one of
month,
those
yeah.
things is really gonna make me so angry if they were just like, and that person left. Bye. Really? Okay, because I can give you like 10 good reasons right now that we need to go find that person and not just let them disappear forever. I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
even
think it
a
would
prolific
be a
writer or
lost
anything.
opportunity if they did not.
Yes. So.
It would be a horribly lost opportunity if they did not. But yeah, I played that. I've also played Fallout 76 this week. Still enjoying it. It really feels like a normal Fallout game, except on your map there are dots that show other people, which I'm barely ever
well,
around
and there's no
any other people.
NPCs.
How many
to
how many
give you any
people
sort of
are you
story.
seeing?
I've seen the first day that I played, I saw with my own two eyes 2 people, and I haven't seen anybody since.
See, that's what
Okay,
I
and
would want. Nobody bother me.
I've heard gunfire. Like, sometimes you'll hear gunfire close enough in the vicinity so you know somebody's around. You'll open up your map and they'll be a little ways away, kind of off doing their own thing in a town or out in the field or whatnot, and you can hear them in like shootouts and whatnot, but I just kind of let them do their thing. And, I mean, pretty much everybody just kind of does their own thing.
Do you think it's because when it first launched there was a ton of people on the servers, and now because it tanked as bad as it did, there's not as many, so it makes it better to play?
Probably.
I mean, I'm just saying.
The server that I was playing on Thursday, man, there was like 26 people in it. Like, it was quite full
I
of
wonder
people.
what the
They're
max
all over
is
the place.
per.
They just spread everyone out.
Isn't
The
it
map
massive,
is big
though?
enough. The map is big enough for 26 people to kind of all be spread out and whatnot. Also, I did have I got myself scared a lot because I was at the airport and then an event started and some crazy shit started happening and a fucking I forgot what they were called, the big beasts or whatever the fuck it was. It was like a giant flying vampire bat. I mean, the thing was the size of a fucking dragon. And I just see it sitting on the airport, and I was like, what the fuck is that? I was just over there. And then it just takes off and starts flying through the sky, and I'm like, oh, hell no. Motherfucker was level 50. I was like, all right, I'm going to go ahead and just get the fuck out of here.
What level are you now?
11.
Should have taken it on, man. You got this.
The
You got
fucking
this.
thing flew around the airport for a little bit, and then just flew off, like, out into the distance and left. Like, it didn't despawn or anything. It just flew off into a different city. I was
That's
like,
cool,
holy
though.
shit, what the hell is it doing? It's just
That's-
circling for people.
It's cool as shit, though, man.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I feel like Fallout 76, like watching him play it, it has some really good, like, core bones to it. It's just how it was implemented, and the fact that they implemented a full launch AAA game for $60 that should have been very obviously should have been an early access title. It would probably
Yeah,
would
they
have been
should have
a lot
taken-
more successful if they had launched it early access.
Yes, because I've had so many issues with like either things just popping out in front of me where I'm turning a corner and it's like, oh, wait a second, let me load this up real quick. Okay, there's the enemies. Here we go. Or if I kill something and then the body disappears because it basically leashed back to wherever it was at because I pulled it too far, and then it dies and it disappears.
So you don't get to loot it.
Yeah, it's like you kind of stitch this thing. The bones are good, but the skin on top of it is just like
Wait,
like a paper mache on there.
I just thought of this too. The game is only available on PC on their own store, correct?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, they fucked up. Like, how long was it a bad game?
I mean, I think I want to say that they did that for reasonings of like anti-cheat measures, so
Yeah,
that you
it's
had a
probably
better
there.
list of who had your game and what IP they were using for it and things like that.
I guess maybe.
I think
If it
that
was
the
$10,
reason.
I'll buy it. Like I've already said,
Yeah,
if it's
if it
like
was
$10,
super cheap.
$15, I'll buy it because the game is fun. But there's no way it is worth $60.
Yeah.
No way.
Well, I mean, hey, the week it came out, you could have got it for 40.
Like,
So
What are you playing it on?
So still
Xbox One.
not cheap enough.
Xbox?
yeah, it's from our
Yeah.
GameFly. Anything we get from GameFly as rentals will be on console.
Yeah.
Well, I know that. I just didn't know which console.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I
So-
played that, and I played more Fable 3. That game is still awful. I went and looked at reviews for it, and I have no idea. Like, I don't know how many people they paid to give that game good reviews, but I mean, if you were fans of the first two, the third one just did not do it for you.
That's
Like,
what
it
I've heard
just
about it. That's the reason I
did
never
not-
touched the third one. And actually, I think Grif was the first one because I was thinking about it. And I think Grif was the one that told me you don't want to do that.
Yeah. I remember us having a conversation or several about it.
Yeah. Like, oh my god. It's just so... I'm spending most of my time just doing real estate. The quests are so fucking boring. Like, I mean,
That's
go
sad.
here, do this. It's like, oh yeah, you gotta fight things. So you know how I do all of my combat? Is I just spam the B button. Because the B button is for magic, and since it doesn't matter what you do anymore, I got 2 gauntlets, fire and lightning, and then I just do that constantly. AoE magic. Kill everything.
Yeah, I was
Comes in
watching.
close
I
to-
stopped
just-
and watched him play
just
for a
kill
minute,
it.
and that's all he was doing. I was like, nope, I'd be out so fast. That's so
Yeah,
boring.
you just hold down B for a second, create your area, because it's kind of like the other ones where you would hold B and your cast spell, your area would get bigger. You just do that and just kind of keep just spamming it. Everything dies. Doesn't fucking matter. I mean, I just kind of go right into the middle of the crowd and then just keep spamming my spells until everything's dead.
There's no danger or agency really.
I mean, you could barely tell your health. You don't have a fucking health bar or anything. You just hit a health potion whenever you get low because it pops up. It's like, oh, you're
Does your
getting
screen
low.
turn red or anything?
Yeah, it like reds on the outside a little bit, and then
Okay.
your potion will pop up down there. Your
So at
D-pad,
least
and
it's
then
giving you
just
an
go.
indicator. It's just not a great indicator.
Yeah, it's like, oh, let's try to be Call of Duty. Let's give you the whole fucking red outline around your screen to simulate you're dying. It was not. It's not very good. And we've
Wow.
played one other game. What was that, Baka?
Are you talking you and Baka or all of us?
Yeah, me and Baka.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, I was about to say we played a couple, but I mean, Apex Legends, and yesterday we did a little bit of Conan Exiles.
Yeah,
How'd
it
that
was
go?
free on Steam this weekend, wasn't it?
It is still free on Steam right now.
Well, by the time the podcast goes up, it won't be.
I
Yeah.
know. It's pretty interesting. I like some of the mechanics in it. The combat's really good.
Did y'all go into
To adjust up our server.
Yeah.
your own
just-
server? Yeah. See, that's what I did when I was playing it solo. And what I liked about it is the fact that they have it built in to where if you want to, you can make yourself a god and just spawn the shit in that you want to see later on, which is great because some of the shit you're never going to see or never get near. But I spent a lot of time in Conan Exiles. It was kind of like where Grif will go back to Ark on solo and just go through and just punch trees because it's kind of a way of her just killing time and you know, relaxing a little bit. That's what I would do in Conan Exiles.
Yeah, I met with a server earlier, dude, because I wanted to go look at an area. I didn't have God mode on, but I had like where I take so little damage, and I basically just one shot whatever I run across, and I just made a sword, and anything that came running at me, I just whack it and keep running.
It's so satisfying. It's just
It's like
so
I just want to go look at this area before a podcast. Leave me alone.
They've got a new game coming out too that's based. I think it's an RTS that's coming out that's based in that world. So I'm really excited about that too. I think I've said this before on the show. My dad used to read the comic books when I was a kid, so that's the reason I kind of have an attachment to Conan. So
Total War style would be interesting for that universe.
Yeah,
It would.
Get some more elephants. As long as they're not broken like in Rome,
Yeah.
where the people keep running into them and then breaking formation and running back, and then regrouping, running back in, and they're just in an infinite loop, and they're easy kill.
too funny.
I did Resident Evil, and Mr. X is not like me. Let me tell you.
Well, what was he, a train?
No, I did not put a mod on him to make him Thomas the Tank Engine. Thank you.
It'd been funny though.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of
Just
funny
saying.
as is sometimes, because you can outrun him. I mean, most of the time. So some of it's
And
been
shoot off his stupid little hat.
I will remember to shoot his hat. I haven't done it yet, and Chicken chastised me for it. I'm sorry.
You gotta shoot off his stupid little hat.
Why?
Because he's mean. He wants to punch you in the face and choke slam you.
Maybe I
So
can
it's like,
reason
take
with
that.
him.
Yeah,
your favorite little
it's
hat's
like-
gone.
It's like the only thing you could do to him is like, you little bastard. Actually, the only other thing is if you have the infinite rocket launcher, he kicks open a door and walks at you. You aim it at him. He turns around and walks away. He does actually just turn and walk away. He's like, oh,
Well, I do not have that,
got
so
you,
I guess
bro.
I'll have to shoot his hat off.
Yeah,
Sorry.
then you turn around, he turns back. He's like, what you gonna do? Oh, I was just kidding. I was just kidding. That's right. Turn around a bit. No, I'm just kidding. Have a standoff with Mr. X.
I just run from him. It's been interesting.
I wonder if that's a bug though.
What, running away with the infinite rocket launcher?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's an Easter egg. It's so fucking difficult to get the infinite rocket launcher.
That they want to reward you, make it feel like it's worth it.
Yeah, it's like an Easter because at that point, it doesn't fucking matter. You could shoot him with the infinite rocket launcher 1 billion times and knock him down every time he walks at you. So, because if you do so much damage to him, he will kind of step to one knee, take a second, and then get back up. So if you hit him with the rocket launcher, he just falls down for a second. And so, I mean, it's kind of funny that he'll just turn around and walk away. He's like, oh, whatever, I don't need this. I'm going back to Umbrella.
It's like, have a nice day.
That's right. Turn back around, bitch. I'll come back. I was kidding. I'm leaving the front door over this. Okay.
You're not the stars we were looking for.
No. Leon isn't stars. God.
Yeah, he is. He's a rookie.
He's just a regular police.
He's a cop.
Rookie. Yeah,
I
he's a
thought he
regular
was
cop.
part of the.
I don't
Nope.
think so. Chris is.
Yeah, the rest of them upstairs are part of that, but his office was downstairs with the rest of the regular police.
Yeah.
Baka's like,
He's gonna have
I
to
gotta
go think on
reevaluate.
this for a minute. But yeah, Leon's office is downstairs with the regular cops.
For some reason, I was thinking then the old game his uniform had stars on it as well.
I don't think so.
as far as I know, I don't think so.
Baka's gonna Google that just to make sure
No,
he's gonna
check
fact check
it.
it.
I got this shit.
My
me Google.
keyboard's too loud. Grif will yell.
Yes, I
Yeah.
will. You do have a mechanical keyboard that is very loud.
Click, click, click.
click, 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 click,
Click, click, click, click, click, click, click, click.
I will beat someone. I will.
Anyway, Griff, what else other than Resident Evil have you played?
A lot of Anthem. I did some game hopping. We played some Overcooked with Baka and Red separately, and my sister. Red has
How'd
like
that
a
go?
tiny attention span. Like he'll be
No,
super
really?
gung ho to play a game, and then he'll play it for like 2 hours, and after that point, he has lost interest in playing a specific game because he wants to hop to another game. So he'll just start doing stupid things or just not. doing things at all, and it's like, what?
Red's
Okay.
objective based. Like he has a hard time. That's why he's got a bunch of quick play games like Apex or Rainbow Six or League or anything like or Heroes that he can kind of play a couple matches and move on to something else that he can play a couple of matches in until he finds something that he can kind of, because that's why WoW held his attention for so long, is because he could work towards like the next tier, the next goal, and keep working towards this stuff to try to get better, try to get more stuff, and he would just kind of keep going.
I think it's the acquisition of things that is
Yes.
it drives him, because in we were playing Overcooked, like there's the progression, you want to get to the next one, but you don't acquire new stuff necessarily when you do that. Like you unlock new chefs every once in a while, but it's not like you gain new skills or level up the ones you have, and now you can chop faster or throw farther or things like that. So
Yeah, right. Like we really need to throw farther.
it's more objective.
I do.
Like those are more objective than progression games, and so we lost Red a little while, and then we lost, like, at the end of the night. My sister was tired too because she works ridiculous hours, and at one point I didn't realize that we're running around like crazy people, and finally Red goes, "Is she standing over there with the water gun?" Because there's a water gun level, and she's just spinning in circles spraying the water gun because she didn't know what she was supposed to be doing, and it was too chaotic. I was like, "Yep, I think we're good."
Too funny. Too funny.
guys
We want
want-
to talk about some news, or we got some more? Oh, Baka say what he's playing?
Yeah, I played
Yeah,
Conan
better.
with Chick.
Oh, that's right.
and-
That's right. Double checking. All right. Start some news.
I don't want to because most of it's not fun.
Oh, fair enough. We'll start with some news that is interesting but not necessarily important. And I said I'll explain what I mean by that. Dying Light 2, which Techland is the one that's developing that, Techland is taking their distribution part of their system, which they started in 1991, and just its Polish distribution and eliminating it by the end of the year. So if you're in Poland and listening to us right now, you're not going to have to worry about that. After in 2020, there's going to be a different distribution for them. But it really affects third-party games on that, not really the first-party stuff. So it is going to be interesting to see what they do with Dying Light 2, to see who distributes that and that type of thing. But I think that it's important from a gaming standpoint because you are going to have people that lose jobs, but they've had a year to do that. So hopefully they can find jobs versus some of the shutdowns we've had recently where it's been like, you have 30 days. Good luck, guys.
Right.
Well, this one
So
says
some
the
of them
structuring.
didn't even have that.
Yeah, no shit. The restructuring will see 13 people from logistics and trade department to lose their jobs, and they've apparently had forewarning. So they've known this was coming. You know, put your resume out there. We'll help you. Don't worry.
And
about
they
it.
have another year. I mean,
Yeah.
to the end of the year, so it's not like...
Yeah. So it's good. I mean, sometimes things like this happen. I'm just curious of who they're going to go with to help publish their game now or distribute their game now.
You know who
If
it's
they're
gonna be.
smart, THQ Nordic is the answer to that.
The big one, not the one that's not
Yeah,
the one that knows Mark.
Daddy is the one that you want to go to. THQ Daddy. That's what you do on there.
Oh god.
So
make sure-
don't listen to the Mark.
Yeah, don't pay attention to Mark on that one. Just
Yeah.
too funny.
Oh, that one was quick.
Yeah.
It didn't take long on that one. I knew it wouldn't. So, what else we got? Oh, it's been rumored for a while now that Xbox is going to go discless. It looks like the rumors are getting stronger and stronger for a possible May release for an Xbox One S that's going to be completely discless.
Sub $200 too, so a good cheap price tag.
Good cheap price tag. A lot of people are going digital. I'm assuming that Microsoft is looking at their statistics on how much money they're making off of actual discs sold versus how much digitally, to make this decision. If everybody remembers, which everybody on this group I know does, but people listening, when the Xbox One was originally released in 2013, when it was announced in 2011, it was supposed to be discless. And the public fought for it to be to have actual solid copies. So this could be a possibility that whatever Xbox 2 is, I guess is what you end up calling it. I don't know what you call the next one because that's weird. when it comes out, if it's discless or if they end up putting more discs in.
It'll probably This is probably the test market to see if this thing sells well enough, and they'll just probably just move on to discless. But I am going to say, if you remove the disk drive, you son of a bitches better put in a bigger hard drive. Like, I want 5 terabyte in that some bitch. If you're not gonna fucking
if
give
you're
me
gonna
discs.
well, that too, that and a way for us to register the games we've already purchased that do have disc for your backwards compatibility.
They're not going to do that. They're going to try to double sell it to you, though.
Well, they've allowed us this time. So and they've created it past that point, because originally they didn't have backwards compatibility, but they've continued to make backwards compatibility a thing, and I can put my disc in and I can play. So if they have that availability, they need to give us an opportunity to do it. Versus PlayStation, who still doesn't have a way of making it happen.
No, that's why the other PSP failed.
Mm-hmm.
Not the Vita, the what was it, the
Actual PSP.
Go.
The
PlayStation
PSP Go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I wonder how many people are gonna buy this, looking at the $200 price tag, not knowing that it doesn't have a disc drive.
Surely it says it on the box.
As someone who still works retail, people who do not read.
Yeah, I was going to.
And somebody works retail too. They don't. People don't read.
No.
You can have the sign, everything in big letters, and they will just pick out key little words.
Or they won't read it at all and then be like, "You didn't tell me." Had that happen too.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. I guess we'll find out. So maybe.
Because there's those people in retail who will just sell it and not go, hey, by the way, you spending $60 per game right here with the system, none of these are going to work either.
I am interested to see, though.
Sell them anyways.
I'm curious on why it is that the Xbox One S was the choice for this instead of the Xbox One X. Unless they're just saying, if you purchase the S before, you've got a disc. We're not going to put disc anymore on the S.
To make it as cheap as possible, because the X has better hardware, which means it would cost more money to make.
Right. Well, and then the S has better hardware than the original Xbox.
So in order to sell it to as many
too.
people as possible, they're going cheaper to try to get as many people to buy this, to go, well look, people are willing to buy it without a disc drive.
Well, maybe you won't need a disc drive, because eventually all of your favorite Xbox games will just be on PC, because there's a rumor that they have exciting news when Xbox returns next week. They have exciting news about the Master Chief Collection, which is likely going to be that it will be debuting on PC. So, if you just wait long enough, you don't have to worry about.
Me and Grif can finally finish.
Oh my god.
That'd be awesome.
Oh man.
We can go through Halo 2, and I can throw sticky grenades on her.
I thought we played Halo 2. I thought we did 1 and 2, and we needed to do.
We started to. We never finished it.
Okay. My bad.
I just want Halo 3 multiplayer back. Like,
Yes.
give me Halo 3 multiplayer.
Because that's where we met.
Yes. I can play it with mouse and keyboard, and then Baka won't have an excuse anymore as to why he's so bad.
Oh. That's getting called out.
If I had gloves, I would take them down and throw it.
Let me tell you what I would love about this.
That's fine, Chicken. Let's go play Street Fighter.
If they
that ain't my forte.
If they bring it over and they're like, okay, you can play this on PC, just play the game, and they turn around, they do exactly what they did with Sea of Thieves. You turn around and go, if you want to play this game and you're on an Xbox and you want to play with your friends or playing on a PC, make it happen. And then, but you have a Switch that you could just go, click, I don't want to play with PC players. At the end of the day, that would be fantastic.
Sea of Thieves has that, don't they?
He said like that.
Like Sea of Thieves, but just do it with your older games like this. I mean, it just if with the Game Pass, everything else that they've Xbox has got going. If this works out for Sea of Thieves, they should do the same thing on the other games. Just if it's in-house games like this, you're not going to get all third parties to do that.
Yeah.
But Rare's an in-house name too, so I love the fact that this is
for excited as I am about this, I am a little worried because of how bad the original release of it was, and I mean porting it over to PC makes me like extra worried that it's gonna be like extra bad.
You know how you solve this problem? Same thing I've said 100 million times. Why are we freaking building games to put on consoles instead of building them on a fucking PC, 4 PCs, and then porting them over? Why did we change this method? I get it. Consoles were so popular for so long. People are buying PCs now that I thought would never buy fucking PCs to play on.
Because PCs are more than just like gaming instruments these days. I mean, everybody, like, in this day and age, you need a computer of some form. It's what connects everybody. I mean, people have phones. Well, but,
Don't you people
don't
have phones?
Yeah, I mean, these are mini computers.
Don't Diablo us.
Don't Diablo you.
But I mean, it's everybody has PCs these days, so well, most people do. So.
Well, that's gonna be interesting to see how that goes, and I would like to know what the player base would be like for the multiplayer side of it, because I know not long ago there was the not officially sanctioned Halo 3 multiplayer that popped up on PC, and it seemed to gather
Waypoint.
it seemed to gather a little bit of an audience that way. So I'm wondering if they're capitalizing on having taken that down.
I am interested to see too what this, because if you remember, we got an announcement last year for Halo Infinite. So what does this mean? Like, is this
is whetting the appetite for
yeah,
Halo
is this just a
again?
portion of this? So now we know, okay, here you go. Play the game, enjoy the game. We've got this older game that everybody wanted on PC anyway to actually be on PC, and everybody gets excited again, and now you actually...
I think this year we'll see footage for Infinite, so I think that this is like the appetizer that's supposed to make you more excited and ready for the main course.
Yeah, because they said it's going to be a spiritual reboot, and I quote that, spiritual
Halo
reboot.
Infinite, yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a spiritual reboot to, take the series back to what made it good. Because 4 was okay. It felt like a natural progression into it. It's like, okay, new studio, we're going to start a new story. And then at the end, it's like, get slapped in the face. This story doesn't matter anymore. We're going to finish it up out on comics. All right, let's make 5. We're starting something entirely different. It's like, this isn't why we like Halo. We like Halo because of the story is so fucking good. The combat's good. I mean, you doing a different one every year is going to start feeling like Call of Duty, and
Nobody wanted that.
That's not what Halo is.
That's not even what Call of Duty is anymore.
No one likes
even then,
a story-driven game.
Even then, though, Call of Duty, when they first started doing that, they at least finished the fucking line, like the plot line every 3 years. You got the next one every 3. We didn't even get that. We got, oh wait, there's comic books that were released 2 years ago, and I didn't even know it. Now I've got a whole brand new fucking game. What just happened?
Yeah, especially because they made it with the ending opened up to continue on. And then they're like, yeah, look at how great this is. All right, now fit all of this ending right here. All right, there we go. That's done. Let's move on to the next one.
What makes me mad about it too is the characters that they created for that. The book line that goes along with that for the base story and everything that goes along with it is a great series for Halo in book. And then you go, and I'm like, oh, and they've put them in the game, so now you got this whole backstory canon. This is fantastic. Wait, what? It's not finishing? This is done? Like, you're just moving on to 5? What?
Yep.
We do what we want. People are going to get bored with that
Don't you
storyline.
read comics, bro?
Oh
Don't you have comics, bro?
Oh my god.
Everybody's got a comic, right? Yeah, I got a few friends that think they are. All right.
Well, I mean, you could easily swap from that to, I mean, we're talking about Microsoft. Microsoft is pretty much bound and destined to, quote-unquote, win E3 this year, as EA, and along with some other people, have already decided they're not doing press conferences this year.
Sony's not, and EA's not right now, right?
Right. Nintendo hasn't said what they're doing, but recently they haven't done a whole lot of actual press conference. It's been like a Nintendo Direct that they will have, or the Playhouse, their Treehouse thing. But it's not been actual pressers like the other companies.
And I see, the thing is Nintendo, I think, is the only one that can really get away with that. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah, I mean,
right?
They get special allowances.
yeah. Well, Nintendo is Nintendo is like the king of the consoles. Everybody goes to Nintendo. Like everybody wants to put everything.
All your console
Hell,
people even go Nintendo. We have to have Nintendo. And all of us have to have Nintendo because
I mean,
what Nintendo is.
Xbox is even putting Xbox Live onto the Switch. It's like the Switch is
Yes.
what people like aspire to be. I mean, you got the thing sitting there, you can play at home, doesn't matter. You go, you play it, doesn't matter. Everybody wants to put everything on it. Even the hardware isn't even a problem to people, because I remember that whole big issue. How powerful is it going to be? Is it really going to be running 4K, 60 FPS and everything? And now that it's out, everyone's like, I don't give a fuck, man. I can just play a bunch of games on it, and they all look good. Right? Yeah. So.
Well, and they're
graphics don't make a game.
and it creates innovation
Sure.
because you got all these people that are third-party people that weren't on the last platform coming in going, wait, we can shrink our stuff down to a box this big and it still run? What technology is that? Well, if you come to Nintendo, we'll show you how to do it. So now all the games are running better. Things are being smaller, and it just makes a whole lot more sense. The thing that's crazy to me about this is the fact that Nintendo knows who they are. Like, they know we've talked about it on the show before, that they've got when it comes to the mobile game, they were it. You had the Game Boy that started it all and just moved its way through to where now
you
you've
got
got
other ones that popped up that did okay. Game Gear was okay.
Yeah.
but didn't last anywhere as long as the Game Boy did.
PSP lasted quite a while and has a really good library of games.
But
Yes,
it's
they
not
got a
as
great
popular. Arguably, it's not as popular as any of
No.
the Nintendo handhelds.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, and so now what they did is they go, okay, we're going to make our console where it's a good combination, both of them. It will allow them to eventually remove the 3DS from the market. We know that we kind of have that feeling with the new Pokemon game and things like that. That's kind of where that's leading toward. It feels good mobile. It feels good as a console. Perfect. Xbox knows who they are. Xbox turns around and goes, even when it was first released, we are an entertainment system. We want to be able to control your TV. We want you to run everything through it that you can. We also know that we're a big fucking PC. It's running on Windows 10. We can continually update. But this is for people that want to sit on their seat and be able to play games as close to a PC as they possibly can if they're playing on Xbox One X. And do it at a cheap mode. Mom and dad can go buy one unit, bring it home, good to go. Sony still doesn't fucking know who they are. They are a company that is in the console dark ages because they won't do backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
They're just not a service company.
But Sony feels like, I think that is their identity. Is Sony is trying to make their identity the bleeding edge of console technology. Like, you come to us for the best console performances. You come to us for these high tier games. Like, they put quality first party stuff out. And I think that's what they want to be, but you have so much more variety from a lot of the other places, PC, Xbox, and Nintendo, that's overshadowing what they want to be. So their identity is not entirely successful in the market. Not that there's anything wrong with PlayStation necessarily. I enjoy mine.
No, I love PlayStation. I started, right
Yeah.
after Nintendo. That was the first console I purchased after that, which was the PS1. And I got it, and I loved it. I put so many hours on the PS1. I made sure I got a PS2, and then this Microsoft company, this tiny company, I say tiny, it was massive at the time too, comes in and goes, hey, we're going to have a console too. And I'm like, whatever. And then I played a game called Halo, and I was fucking hooked ever since. So it's like, they just need to kind of redo what they're doing, because they're not even the best console anymore, performance-wise.
Yeah, performance-wise, not, and I think that's what they want to be. Like, I mean, there are... Honestly, if I could look at a list of all the Sony games, there are so many fucking good first-party, like, single-player games that stand above both of the other consoles.
I think that's part of what muddied their identity, too, is they had long time been the place you go for these amazing single-player story experiences, but then they got in bed with Activision Blizzard with Destiny and tried really hardcore to push that multiplayer identity. I mean, I don't know that it really necessarily...
They also are doing what Xbox did last year, and trying to do the whole, like, we get this first, and like with Call of Duty and everything, and
Well, Sony's been doing that for a couple of years now, and that's why I say that's what shifted their focus, is because they get all of the Destiny stuff
they've
early,
been doing
they get
it
all
like
of the
this
Call
whole
of Duty stuff
generation.
early. Yes.
Yeah.
Whereas Microsoft did it the last generation with the 360, and they went, oh well, that's what won them the war, and it's like,
It's not really though. It was
No,
just,
not really.
they're different places. But I think that Sony shifted its focus to that, and now I think their focus is largely centered on the next console. So I think right now,
I don't even think
things are sitting with
Sony's.
the PS4.
I don't think even console wars, Sony or Xbox is winning that. I think Switch is winning that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, because if you look at the, you're still going to have people that are purchasing Xboxes and PlayStations and things like that. Either they're renewing the one that they have because 2013 is when both of those were released. So you got people that are going, oh, I want the latest one that's available to me or whatever. But the Switch, people are just buying them.
But I would argue that even as far as the console wars go, they're losing ground in that specific war to PC as well. Because now you've got people, like you said earlier, Oak, you've got people that never would have bought a PC before that are playing on PC right now. Because the internet shows you how you can learn what you need. There are companies that will build them if you're not going to build them yourself. But even if you do want to build them yourself, there's so many places, so many resources to learn how to do that on a good budget and things like that even PC is starting to take chunks out of the console wars.
Well, because if that, you could get the quality that you can get on a PS4 on a PC now. Except you just got the titles are the only thing Sony is holding on to.
And you got a massive group of people that are sitting there streaming, whether it's on Twitch or Mixer or YouTube or any of your major stuff that's on there. And if you're in one of their chats and you go, "What are you playing this game on?" Majority of the time, the person's going to answer, "I'm on PC."
Well, because that makes it, and I will say, honestly, doing YouTube stuff and streaming is partly what pushed me over to PC side over my Xbox, is just because it's so much more convenient to be able to set all of your stuff up in one place instead of being like, okay, is my console on? Is my capture card working? Is all of this stuff going to do what I need it to do? Let me make sure it's all, there's just so many points of failure in that when you can just streamline it if you're playing it from PC.
Well,
and
see, that's
another
right.
thing for PC, mods.
That too.
Mods.
Well, that's why I got. That's what got me to play Fallout 4 exclusively on PC.
Mods, man, I'm telling you, there's just so much more variety you could do with this big ass thing. Watch stuff, play games at the same time. Now the whole problem with the PC is getting into client wars, which is fucking stupid.
Which is where we're at now, but
yeah.
Well, whatever. Overall, what we're talking about originally is EA is not going to be at E3.
Yes.
Right.
So,
well, and the thing is they've got, as we discussed off the air beforehand too. If you look at it from this standpoint, we're not even going to talk about the fucked up version of Battlefront that they created and have released and everything else that nobody ever wants to talk about anyway. You've got Apex is currently doing really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
The Star Wars, the brand new Star Wars game from Respawn, which is the makers of Apex and Titanfall, they're going to talk about it at Celebration, which is the Star Wars event. That's really, I think, the only thing on there, and Anthem's already been released. So unless they're talking about new Anthem material,
there's not much that they've got.
Yeah, there's no real reason for them to be there.
Going to the concerts. Sorry, we just got tickets to a concert, so I guess that's all that's on my brain right now.
Yay, BTS!
Yeah. But going to these press conferences are expensive on the back end of it for these people as well. So it may just be an issue of they can get that same content out by releasing it on their YouTube channel and posting about it on Twitter, and it's going to reach the same audience. So there's really no point in them paying to go. Not to mention last year they got they got panned. It was obvious that EA had no idea because they brought in a bunch of influencers to do their pressers, and it was super lackluster, and they got made fun of pretty hardcore, and they should have been. That was so dumb. So I think that maybe they're just like, we can save the money, we can save the time, we'll just put whatever we need to on our YouTube channel or release it through other means. There's no reason for us to do this.
Even if you do a version like what Nintendo does, which is the Nintendo Direct that they do just specifically for E3, if you do something like that, it's fine. I don't have a problem with it, but I think it goes back to what we said at the beginning. Nintendo can get away with it because Nintendo's Nintendo. Like, unless you're
Yeah.
showing me something, because last year the only thing we had was Last of Us 2 was pretty much the only exclusive really that they had there. Other that maybe the ninja game or whatever, the samurai game that had the really weird recorder guy playing at the beginning.
Who was extremely talented, by the way.
It wasn't.
Yeah, very, very talented,
yes.
but it was a very weird situation.
Yeah, it was definitely a situation.
You move from this auditorium to this one.
Well,
What?
it just goes to show how out of touch a lot of the companies are when they're trying to figure out how to put these press conferences together, because they've been missing the mark consistently for a couple of years now. I mean, Microsoft, I think, did well enough because they were pretty much like, okay, we're Microsoft, here are these games.
Microsoft doesn't change really.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about their setup, they usually have a big stage. They have little parts in the front to where people can say stuff or like kind of be near the audience or whatever, or they can be up on the stage. Phil comes out, says a few words, walks to the back, stuff happens, comes out every once in a while. He'll change shirts in between every time. And they're usually indie shirts, right?
Yeah.
Indie game shirts of some sort. And then, I mean, their stuff doesn't change, but that's okay. That's how Phil is.
Well, I think that's what we all, like, that's all we care about. I don't need, and most of us don't need, a bunch of fancy presentation around what you're going to tell me about. I just want you to show me what you want to show me for the game. That's what I care about. I don't care that you created the barn from The Last of Us 2 cinematic that you just showed me, and that's where all of the people are at. One, I'm not at the conference, I'm watching it from home. And two, even if I was at the conference, I don't care. I care about what you're going to show me, what I will eventually get to experience at my own, with my own
To be
console.
fair, it is nice sometimes for like the developers of the game to come out afterwards and kind of,
yes.
we've been working on this for a while. This has been inspired by such and such. Very passionate crew, other stuff. Thank you for watching.
Nobody
Hope
has a
you guys
problem
will
with
enjoy
that
it.
either. Everybody has a
Yeah.
problem with all of the extraneous stuff, like bringing
the
out
showmanship.
influencers to play your mobile multiplayer game. Thank you, EA, or to do something like what Sony did. Like, nobody cares about that stuff. That is
all right,
extraneous
Jane,
stuff.
back to you in the studio, and then you go
Yeah,
right back
that was
outside to the
dumb.
people behind this. I was like, what?
Yeah, we like it kind of direct, and I mean,
That's what we want from E3. We want you to jam pack it with content that you're going to be showing us, not so much with like showmanship extravaganza garbage.
To be fair, who had a really good presentation. Unfortunately, they've fallen short since then. Bethesda.
yeah.
Bethesda had a
To
really
be fair,
good
they
one.
had a really good one last year too, before Fallout 76 came
Yeah.
out. Like last year's was really fucking good.
Yeah.
They showed us their new IP, which they were working on. Don't know anything about it, just know a fucking name. Then they showed us Elder Scrolls 6. They're working on it, no fucking name. It's just what it
That's what I'm
is.
saying. They gave us good one, and then they had, they Doom Eternal. When they gave us Doom Eternal, like everybody lit up, and it was like they gave their fans what they needed, including Fallout 76. People got excited about it. Not everybody.
Well, it seemed
Yeah.
kind of neat, but at the same time, most Fallout core fans didn't want an online-only experience.
right, because
so-
that's not what the game's based on.
Yeah.
And I get that. I totally understand it. I don't know. I think that this does give you, if you're Bethesda who's had a PR issue recently, it gives you an opportunity to kind of slide in there to become a major player since EA's not going to be there. I am interested to see Ubisoft's stance on this. If they're still going to be there, that gives them an opportunity to kind of take up too. Activision Blizzard doesn't really do anything anymore because they have their own conference with BlizzCon, because it's going to end up being
Well,
the
Activision
BlizzCon.
Blizzard's probably not going to do much this year anyway because of all of the restructuring that they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna get WoW Classic this year, the Warcraft remaster this year, and for one of our other articles, Diablo is come back.
Yeah, Diablo 1 is on GOG right now, so if
Which is
you were
very
interested.
It's very interesting too that they've made that decision to do it, and it looks like they're bringing back the two Warcrafts as well. It's almost like they went, well, Activision's fucking up all of our other shit, so let's keep it off Battle.net and put it over on another platform.
Well, it
To
may
be
be
I wanna
that
see
honestly,
Diablo
but
2
how
remastered.
Diablo 1 works, if they put it on Battle.net, people would connect online. You have all the griefers and Diablo 1 online. Like
That's
as soon as you went into a multiplayer game, prepare to die, lose all your stuff from someone who was invisible and invincible and whatever else. like you couldn't see them. If you got lucky to swing and hit them, it still didn't do anything.
Well, it looks like the classic version, if you want to play Diablo Classic, it features BattleNet support. So I guess it's still going to connect through BattleNet for multiplayer?
The classic one.
So I
That's
wonder
like
if there
Warcraft 2 does too, like, but there's a button inside the game that you click on it and pops it over.
Well, I wonder if
so
that means that there will be more stringent anti-cheat measures, or if they're just going to leave it as is.
It probably will. But I loved reading this review. You could tell this guy just, like, he hasn't played games of that. Like, he was like, I wanted to see why people were so upset about Diablo 3 and what the fuss was about the original ones. And he starts playing it and he's like, yeah, holy shit, this isn't even, like, in the same fucking genre as Diablo 3. Like, it's slow paced, tension building, it's like Dark Souls-esque action RPG, where it's everything is so important. Like, every decision you make, because the things will run up on you, start beating the shit out of you. You better kill them before they kill you, and if you die, then that's it. So it's nice to watch somebody kind of experience where things came from. Be like, okay, I see why people really enjoyed this, because there's actually, skill involved to be good, instead of just like Diablo 3, where you just kind of spam buttons, whirlwind around everything, pick up health orbs, and never die.
I like it though. I guess it's
the
punching trees. It's the punching trees
thing. No, it's your modern gaming.
My modern gaming.
Yeah,
I like it though. I enjoyed, but I play it for not necessarily the gameplay on that one. I play it for the storyline. I like picking up the books and stuff and listening to what each one of the people are saying as you go through.
Yeah. You better correct that, because the storyline in that game is doo doo.
Oh, I liked it.
It's doo-doo. They take one of the oldest characters, kill him off in some bullshit way, and then the characters that they introduce you into it, they kill them off immediately too, and then kill off the main character too. It's like, what was the point of any of these characters? Like, I mean, you did a bunch of character development and then get rid of them.
You just described Game of Thrones, like all of the seasons, dude.
That's why I don't watch it.
Come on, man.
Yeah, well, at least you have some character. The only character that you can rely on in Diablo is your character, and Diablo. Because it's the fucking game is named after him. He has to make an appearance somewhere.
Right.
But, I mean, it's like, oh my god, twist. And then you're like, seriously?
See, Kane at one point, I was like, well, they've got to kill him. So I was like, oh, okay. And then his niece, they build her up to take his place, and it's like, oh, okay,
yes.
Next generation, that'll be really cool. And then they got rid of her, and it's like, really?
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck was the point of this? I actually wanted to see development down the road, like, because they've tried to do some in the other
generational
games.
Continuance of what Deckard Cain was doing, and
no,
that down the tubes.
Yeah, I was like, wow, really? I want to meet the person who thought that was a good idea and slap him. Like, did you really think? Like, you debated us. You're like, oh yeah, look at new characters. She's gonna take Deckard's place.
Everybody's got phones. Right? Everybody's got phones, right?
Deckard Cain was old, even the first Diablo, and him basically going through three reincarnations of Diablo, and heroes to stop him. I mean, the dude was ancient at that point.
Yeah, no shit. He was a Haradrim. I mean, he's one of the oldest, the last Haradrim.
Well, you guys could probably talk Diablo all day, but we're already at an hour, so I'm gonna go ahead and say you're gonna have to pick your next news topic. This is timer Grif saying
we got a couple of Steam ones that are on here.
Oh my god.
Yep. The one that's less, well, it's controversial from a gaming standpoint, but not as much from a lifestyle standpoint. The Steam list actually, they figured out an exploit some developers have, and basically you can put your release date at a certain time to go ahead and get your game promoted.
Yeah, you can change the release date on the back end.
So then your wish list, people will add it to their wish list or whatever, and then it gets promoted from a Steam standpoint. So people are taking advantage of that. I'm interested to see what really ends up happening in the long run for that.
Probably nothing. Steam's lazy.
So it just kind of depends on, I guess, how they they rework an algorithm if that's what they're doing. I'm assuming it's not a person actually sitting there making that happen. I'm assuming it's based on an algorithm, and somebody just figured it out how it works. So now for the controversial part.
Oh boy, here we
Extremely
go.
part. Valve is currently under fire, who is the owner of Steam, because they have a sexually explicit game based on rape. Literally, the name of the game is Rape Day. Has to do with a serial killer rapist, and I guess you can rape people in the game.
From what I've read, oh yeah, definitely. There are 500 images and over 7,000 words, and you can.
And that is the plot of the game.
Yeah, it's and I quote, the game enables to, and I quote, verbally harass, kill, and rape women as they choose to progress the story. Its contents includes violence, sexual assault, non-consensual sex, obscene language, necrophilia, and incest.
Okay.
Holy shit. Alright.
That is a thing that has been on the Steam store. Like, the game hasn't launched yet, but the game has had a Steam page since, like,
Yes.
mid-February. So, for a month, Steam has just not even acknowledged that this exists because they're so hands-off with their stuff. Anything can go on their storefront now until someone says it's bad. Because Steam takes a reactionary approach instead of a precautionary one.
They definitely do.
Thanks,
Which, I mean,
Steam.
they're getting rid of it.
Well, and I would just like to point out, the name of the game is Rape Day, but if you type that word into, like, the comment section and whatnot, Steam automatically censors it out. How is it that a word that the whole platform censors is not a catch for, a red flag to be sent to somebody in the main control room that's like, hey, there's a game with a questionable title, you should probably at least let somebody put their eyes on it.
Right?
I guess the Valve's going down the whole route of one spoiled banana won't ruin the bunch. It's like, okay, bad banana, peel it off and toss it. So here you go, guys. Keep doing your thing.
I saw a comment down at the bottom on this article, and we've been discussing it's been a pretty contentious discussion about the Epic Store and other platforms and whatnot. This is one of the things that makes those other platforms look so much better to developers because, hey, put your game on the Epic Store or the Bethesda Store because we're not going to put you next to a creeper game. We actually control our content. Like, I mean, that's going to play into it in the long run.
I yes and no. I think that from a developer standpoint, yes, you can look at it and say, hey, they actually control what kind of content and stuff goes on there, and they're allowing our game to be on the content. But at the same time, they could look at it as this way: because they're supporting all developers, and then on reacting to what's being put on there afterwards, then they're giving us the freedom as developers to be able to actually build the game and promote the game the way we want to. Now, is it right to have the game on there? No. Especially if you've already got a system built in that says you can't even say the word on the fucking site. There's no reason it should be able to be typed in there. Yeah. But the other thing about it is that when you... if you remember, this all created, whatever the game was, it was Death or whatever the fucking name was. Hatred. Yes. When it went through, and that really is what started this whole thing, because the community itself, which is part of the reason we like Steam, is because of the fact the community itself governs what's going on. Because here's the thing. If, let's say, you have some bullshit scene that happens to happen, and we'll say it happens to do with some type of sexual assault or whatever, but it's plotline driven. It's not one of those where you actually physically go out and do it there, but it drives the character to go out and seek revenge or whatever happens. But then you've got 100 people that are the loudest people on the planet turning around going, I can't believe you even have a game that even has sexual assault on it. But it's a plot driven thing. It has to happen in order to be able to create. And you've got 100,000 people that are turning around going, no, this is an artist that has created a plot line to move forward. But because it had that in it, Steam decided, nope, it's got rape in any way whatsoever. We can't have that in there.
But I think that there's a difference between what is part of a game, which is like this, in your example, that one thing is a one-time instance that is the catalyst for other things. Whereas a
Right.
game like this, that's the entire game. There is nothing else. Like, it's just a game about that. Like,
Right,
some of
and
it
it's
has
being-
to do
Right,
with
which it's being
the
removed,
content
but what
and in the context of the content.
which it's being removed for what it's doing. But at the same time, if they are proactive the entire time, then first of all, they're almost like YouTube in the fact that there are so many games being uploaded to their system and being submitted to their system that it's very difficult for them to hire
But that's
people
why
to
they
do that.
had programs like Steam Greenlight and things like that, where it allowed the community to vote on games they wanted to see on the platform, and
I
then
agree with you
only
totally
the
on that.
cream of the crop of that would be seen by the Valve employees to consider putting on the platform.
Then my opinion of that is there just wasn't enough people using the green light.
Well, to be fair, it really wasn't easy to access. You had to
No,
find
it
Greenlight.
wasn't.
Yeah, I
it
mean,
was
Valve
pretty rough.
didn't do their due diligence on that side
Which
of
I
things
mean,
either.
this is almost sorry. This is almost the same thing as what Greenlight was. If a game like this comes out, the whole fucking Steam community like just dog piles. It's like, oh my god, get this fucking shit off of here. And Valve, look at this, get it out of here. And then they just dog pile on, and Valve is like, okay, all right, let's get rid of this one. Bad apple, toss it out. And then everyone, like, there's so many watchdogs on Steam that Valve doesn't have to pay anybody because everyone's paying attention to it. All one
but
person
some of
has to do
it's
is go
not-
red flag over here, red flag over here. And yeah, there are plenty of asset flips and whatnot, but it is a double-edged sword because Steam has put the power of governing their own client into the hands of the people. The masses lead this. They review, they control, they watch, and they raise flags when they need to be. I mean, there are plenty of naked women games on there, but I mean, there are plenty of them.
Well,
But-
and that's the thing is like that's to each their own. I mean,
Exactly, but
I mean,
I don't
you had
have any
Larry
on me.
Suit. I mean,
Leisure
Larry
Suit
Suit.
Larry.
Leisure
Leisure
Suit
Suit
Larry.
Larry.
When I was growing up, that's what you had, and now you have more realistic shit that happens or whatever. You can even download phone apps and shit that got that now.
Mm-hmm.
But the end of the day, they're trying to, and you're going to have people that are activists or whatever turning around saying that's not right either. That's not okay, but. They're allowing people to be able to express themselves in certain ways. There are certain things at the point to where you're hurting another individual in a game, physically, sexually assaulting them,
Yeah.
that it changes it. And I think, but there are certain people, and it might be the makers of this game, that don't see the difference between shooting somebody with a gun and sexually assault. Because they're both crimes. They're both causing harm to others, but they don't understand that there's a big difference between the two. And I think that's what I want to know is who the developer's name is, so I can just red flag that.
Yeah, like
I want to
don't
know who
anything to
that
do with
is, so
guy.
that fucking person never I will buy their game ever.
Desk Plant.
Desk Plant.
Okay.
Okay.
Created by the developer, Desk Plant.
There you go. Desk Plant. If you see a game by Desk Plant, stay away from them. There you go. That's how you work on that. Don't support a company, Desk Plant, which
Yeah.
is just a horrible name for a company. Might I add that?
I mean, reading through reviews on Steam, I absolutely love it because sometimes people are a little bit more abrasive with their emotions on them, and you have to kind of search through to kind of get those real clear ones where they're like, this is the same developers and so, or developers have abandoned this, do not look at this game, do not worry about it, it's garbage, it's gone, just move on. And it's like, oh, okay, cool, thanks for the heads up, man, I appreciate it. So it's like walking up to a castle and seeing a bunch of notes posted all over the door. Castle empty, castle abandoned, do not enter. Okay, I'll just head over to the next one. So I mean, it's a client run by the people for the people, and it's almost like, honestly, if I had to compare it to real life, it's like the people run the government, and the government's just kind of sitting over there going, you guys can handle it yourselves. We're gonna keep hands out, but if something like a really bad apple shows up, we'll go ahead and pick them out and toss them away, and try to make sure everything runs smoothly where you guys just handle it yourselves. So I mean,
Unfortunately, it's not the way it works.
yeah.
That's
In
the
both
idea
cases,
of
really.
how it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
That is not how that actually works.
Correct.
Yeah. Well,
Correct. For sure.
Well, what else we got?
Something quick if you're planning on buying Division 2 for the PlayStation 4. There is going to be a day one patch that is going to be 90 gigabytes, even if you're buying the disc version of it.
Which is pretty much the entire game downloaded.
Yep.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, why
Now,
even bother with the disc at that point? I mean,
if you have two consoles and you're trying to make a decision on which version to buy, Xbox One version's only a 50 gig. So there you have it. Now we don't know if
that
this
is still
because...
ludicrous. Day one patch is 50 gigs. You are not releasing the full game then. You are releasing a broken version of the game that you had to fix before it launched and didn't
That is
bother
actually
to ship it.
no. The 52 gigs is actually the actual size of the game because I downloaded the Division 2 on the Ubisoft and it was 52 gigs. So you're
downloading
technically
the whole game
downloading
as
the
a
whole
patch.
game.
And so what's okay?
Okay,
I'm done with
It's
this.
doing
I
the
can't.
swap. Some of the games nowadays, what they'll do is they patch the entire game, and they're as you're downloading the game, it's basically got the key on it. They're uninstalling one version of the game and installing the other version of the game. That's what they're
Stupid
doing.
and a waste of
Pretty
time.
much.
Thank you, everyone.
Yes.
Because Black Ops did the same thing, and there was one other game. Maybe it was Red Dead. Maybe there was another game that did the same exact thing.
I think Red Dead had a big update.
Yeah.
Red
I don't
Dead
think
had
it
an
was on
update
day,
when no, Red Dead didn't have a really huge update until the online came out. And it was
I wish
the
I
online.
wish more would do like Sea of Thieves did. Sea of Thieves was originally 40 something gig, and they uninstalled it and reinstalled a 25 gig version of the game. Like they optimized their game and shrunk it down in
That's
size.
not going to happen though.
Yeah, no shit. Companies just kind of honestly, it's in my head. It's like spaghetti codes where they just kind of put pasta in and then start putting sauce, and then realize they fuck something up, so they bring some pasta from the lower levels and put it up top, and then like, oh, more pasta, a little more sauce. Oh, grab this pasta, and then it's just a giant fucking spaghetti code that's 100 gigs large. And like, fuck it, let's just not squish it. Just put it in a bag and deliver it.
Yeah, but if you got a choice, I would probably choose the Xbox version if you're going to do the one. Because just based on size alone, especially if you have a cap.
Or just do PC or you know, maybe
PC is the same.
Buy it.
PC is the same, right? It's 50.
Yeah,
gig,
it's
wasn't it?
52 gigs.
But you're not spending, you know, so $60 for a physical copy that's gonna be basically useless.
Yeah, you can do the
That's true.
digital copy of it either way. So
Yeah, and you're not paying for Xbox Live.
I am very interested to see why it's 90 gig versus 50, because I understand 60, maybe a few gig more just because of programming the way it's done, but I don't understand why.
The operating system, like the
gotta be.
PlayStation one is going to run differently than the Xbox and PC. Because I mean, why Xbox and PC are the same is because they're so connected at this point. Like they can just build it for a platform and it can run on both.
But
no
it amazes me because for a long time up until this one, they're usually around the same size. Like just the game in general is about the same size.
Then there's something specific about this engine that requires more.
Ooh, no, I got to figure it out. This goes back to other issues like Anthem's having issues, different stuff like that, right?
Oof.
What if the reason it's so big is because of the amount of bug fixes they had to do in that version of the game versus what they had to do in the other two? Because you're right on the connection, right? So theoretically, those two should have the same issues, the PC and the Xbox version, because they're both running on a Windows platform. Mm-hmm. Where this is running on the different platform, but because of that platform, there's more bugs to fix because it works differently than, say, Windows does. So overall, that's a lot of bugs. I mean, but hopefully they're fixed. Hopefully on day one, everybody in Division 2 doesn't have the same issues that they did with Anthem. But we'll see. I think Sony right now is just broken in a lot of ways, so we'll just have to kind of see how their games are. And I don't mean harp on Sony because I love their platform, but at the same time, it's just kind of like, come on, man.
Their veneer is starting to crack as far as what we think their
Yes.
consoles are capable of.
Yeah, it's just craziness. Anything else we want to talk about?
This should be it.
Okay.
I
Got it?
some stuff to go record. Come on. Mr. X is ready to chase me.
Doggos are bugging me. They want out.
Mr. X gonna give it to you.
He's going to try. I'm going to run. Screw you, buddy. I'm faster.
Shoot his hat.
Shoot his hat!
His stupid hat.
Mark said it'd be okay.
Yeah.
Fuck your hat.
Mark's full of shit.
All right. Let's wrap this up
Anyway.
so I can go record.
We do appreciate everybody who hangs out with us each and every week at Infinite Respawn. As always, you can check us out on Twitter at InfiniteResPC. You can check me out personally at MDBOaktree. Check out Grif.
At Grif Slinum.
Check out Chicken.
I'll eat chicken through and through.
Check out Baka.
Baka Pickle.
Also, make sure that you go to Grif's YouTube channel, which is currently playing through Resident Evil 2, as she said, Mr. X, all that good stuff. And then also make sure you go to twitch.tv/EliteChicken313, where Chicken is on from Sunday through Thursday, daytime, evening streams. He's got it all, folks. He's got it all. He's playing some Fallout 76. What else you playing, bud? You
Anthem
still playing
and Fallout 76.
You still going to play some Anthem? Okay.
Yeah.
So we still got, even though he completed that line, he's still playing some Anthem. We're good.
Because there's still
It's the
more
grind.
stuff to do.
Yeah, we got to finish up all the side quests. We
That's
got to
the
Get
whole
that
grind
100%, baby. 100%.
We got to get
See,
that grind
100%,
out,
you
man.
got it.
We
It's on
ain't
there.
even in Grandmaster 1 yet.
You can enjoy it as much as Ollie is. Ollie's currently watching all those old ones and evidently doing repeat episodes. All right. Gotta love it.
Shout out to Ollie.
Shout out to Ollie. We love some Ollie. Also, make sure you go to mixer.com/MDBOaktree. Currently playing through the Metro series, as I said, as well. So you also see some Sea of Thieves, and then I've got some other games coming up too. So appreciate everybody for Infinite Respawn. I'm Oaktree.
I'm Grif.
I'm Chicken.
Baka.
See you.
Bye.
Please hang up and try again.